So last weekend was really a weekend of two halves. The first day we got absolutely destroyed. So here's us trying to get off the beach. It was a windward shore, so quite difficult to get the boards in and bear off without being blown back up head to wind and into the beach. So here's the second bear off, and hoisted the kite, got going downwind. As you can see, it was really fresh. Got one super sketchy gybing, and then just realised that we'd got a load of breakages, bits falling off. Most significant thing was Guy's little trapeze elastic out on the rack had broke, so it's just floating in the air. So that needed to be done back up. So we dropped the kite, promptly put it in the piss. Anyway, we got the boat back up right, kind of fixed the trapeze lines, unknotted the kite sheets, which were all wrapped up as well. Went for another bear off, again really struggling main all the way out, but got the bear off in. You can tell it's windy when the jib's just backing downwind as you're hoisting. Anyway, got the kite up, had a little blast, but unfortunately only got as far as the jibe before we had another little incident. As you can see, it's super windy, probably 25 knots, and just really gusty as well. And none of the channels aligned with the wind, so we weren't going very far before we were having to put in manoeuvres. And here we go, that was the second capsize, and we kind of decided to call it a day there, sort out our bits and bobs, and head back to the beach. We did go out a second time actually, but didn't really fare much better, so decided that it was time to call it a day. Headed in, packed at the boat, gave her a hose down, and got ready for day two. So Sunday was much nicer. I had a little play around the boat park with the camera and a muffler on it to see how it cut out wind noise while Guy did boat work. Yeah, just doing a sound test. Not sure if you can hear me or how this works. Breezy day at the club, so this should hopefully be cutting out some of the noise. So here we are on Sunday. Much nicer day, blue skies. We had to wait around quite a long time for the breeze to drop down, but no, when we got out it was absolutely beautiful conditions. So here we are getting off the beach. Going to do a few videos on this actually, just it's quite a bit more difficult launching in a skiff. Today we decided to wait it out, get the rudder completely down before trying the bear off in the offshore wind conditions. So yeah, I might do a few videos on that, hints and tips for getting off the beach in one piece, because it's not always that easy. But yeah, absolutely beautiful day, dropped to the knots, probably started off at kind of high teens, and then was just dropping down all day, probably only 15 knots by the time we got in, but absolutely glamorous conditions. We had the young lads out with us as well. They ditched their 800 for the day and went out on the 29er, and they were sending it up and down the Itchner channel with us, so just going back and forth between Copyhold and Rookwood, if you know the area, doing a few tacks and stuff. So there's the boys in the 29er having a good blast on a winter's day. So I've got a few ideas for videos coming up in terms of just going through the basics of learning to sail a skiff from scratch. You know, if you come from a conventional boat and want to learn to helm from the trapeze, do a bit of cruise sheeting, just learn a bit about skiffs and their rig setup, then thinking of bringing out a series of videos on that. So it's not going to be quite as high kind of detailed level as some of the videos I've done previously, but yeah, it should be really good for those of you getting into RS 800s or 29ers, international 40s, you know, whatever the boat is, but you know, just some good techniques. So here we are. We had this mark rounding around. I think it was, can't remember if it's copy hold or stocker, but it was set onto starboard, and we were straight away looking at east head in the shallows. So with the tide going out against the wind, it was really choppy there. So you kind of setting, got 20 seconds to get your house in order, and then we're looking to pick a spot in the flat water. We're kind of trying to hold on as long as possible through the chop where it flattens off just in the lee side of east head to get a flat spot to put a jibe in. But yeah, we had a few sketchy moments trying to get through these first jibes. They weren't always the best choreographed. Sliding through, take an extra little step on the side there, so kind of going backwards towards my old jibing technique on the footwork, but it's kind of okay. The boat stays flat, a little bit of leeward heel on coming out, and yeah. Oh, look at that, blue skies, low sun, 15 knots, drop into the knots and off we go. Here's one last jibe I'll leave you with. This one's a really nice one, footwork perfect, the boat's flat or just a little bit of windward heel on the entry. Yeah, just super nice jibe. Here it is, slow motion. Both helm and crew get the footwork spot on. Timing's great on the movement. Hardly any rudder use at all. Really consistent turn rate. Hook on, then ready. Helm goes down, pushing hard to catch the weight as you step out over the side. Super nice little jibe for you, but so there we are. Yeah, looking to the future, gonna pull out a few more videos, like I said earlier. Just looking at the basics of getting into skiffs, learning how to steer from the wire, basic technique, getting on and off the beach, all that kind of thing, setting up your boat, rigging it up. So yeah, if you're into that, then subscribe to the channel and catch you around soon.